sports.
We are Norfolk. We are Wisconsin.
Sunny skies in Washington, D.C. The Brewers and Nationals series is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. It's the finale of a three-game series between the Brewers and the Nationals from Nationals Park here in our nation's capital. We are ready for baseball after a long rain delay yesterday. The Brewers let a golden opportunity slip away last night to move into the top wild card spot with a stunning loss to the Nats after blowing a 3-1 lead. But they still are that second team right now in the wild card chase as they open up play today. Hi, everybody. Craig Kashan along with Bill Schroeder. Great to have you aboard here. It feels like our second game. It kind of is of the day because for the second time in a week, the Brewers finish a game the morning after the night they started a game. Unfortunately for them, last night it ended in a loss, but you go all the way back to last Friday, that 15-inning game in Milwaukee where they beat Pittsburgh. In between there, a lot of things have happened.
Yeah, they have been pushed, and they've really been playing some good baseball, and it seems like every game has gone right down to the end. They've had 3 extra inning games. They've had, as you mentioned, 2 games that have gone past midnight and rain delays, and it's been an interesting week for the Brewers. They've been playing some pretty good baseball. I mean, there have been games where they've been able to come from behind, extra inning games where they come up with the big hits. Last night, notwithstanding, it's been a very good road trip, and we're in here today, and the Brewers will have won 4 consecutive series, and they got some reinforcements. Curtis Granderson, Gio Gonzalez, Corey Knebel is back. He's back active, but last night was one of the more disappointing victories. They had 2 outs, nobody on in the 8th inning, and the Nationals able to string together and able to win the ball game by a run late. So Craig Counsell very happy with the effort. They need to continue to play some good baseball. They've won 8 of the last 12, looking to win another series here today.
Well, the rosters continue to expand. How will the new faces fit in for the finale as the Brewers and the Nationals ready to battle?
Cycle for Christian Yelich. Hammers that one deep into left center field. That is up and out of here.
Couple of power lefties ready to battle here today. Christian Yelich and Bryce Harper. Welcome back to the broadcast. Craig Kashan, Bill Schroeder, Sophia Minard. 84 degrees. Partly sunny skies here this afternoon. That's the good news after all the rain that we've experienced in the late stages of each of the previous two games of this series. Let's check out right away, Rock, what you've got slated for our Pizza Ranch for the win.
Well, it's going to be an important start today for Junior Guerra. He's had a rough stretch. I mean, his last 8 starts have not gone very well, and for Junior Guerra, he's got to come out and throw the ball well. Gio Gonzalez, the newly acquired left-hander, waiting in the wings if there's any problems. And the Brewers, as we talked about, look to win their 4th consecutive series. They've won 3 in a row and 8 of the last 12. Playing some very good baseball, very close games, trying conditions. The Brewers have had a number of different extra inning victories in this stretch, and hopefully they're going to be able to come away with a win today.
Well, the Cardinals lost their game yesterday. The Cubs won. So the good news is the 2 top wild card contenders right now are staying toe-to-toe. And there's still 3 games left between the Brewers and Cardinals. There's a lot of interdivisional games coming up here. Let's take a look at the Potawatomi batting order for Craig Counsell today. He's going to go with Curtis Granderson making his first Brewer start. He'll be out in right field. Christian Yelich will be in left. Travis Shaw at second base. Eric Thames gets the start. He'll back cleanup at first. Mike Moustakas over at third. Manny Pena behind the plate. Keon Broxton just called up from the minors out in center today. Orlando Arcia at short. And Junior Guerra, the pitcher for Milwaukee. And Jeffrey Rodriguez, the young rookie, is going to be on the hill for the Washington Nationals.
Yeah, this is his 3rd call-up. He got called up the most recent time on August 7th. Throwing the baseball pretty well in that stretch. 3 starts, 4 earned runs in 16 innings. That's a 169 earned run average. He was having a pretty good season down in Double-A Harrisburg. So back and forth between the minor leagues and the big leagues this year for Rodriguez. And let's check out the Nationals defense. Same outfield all 3 games of the series. Soto, Harper, and Eaton. You got Rendon, Turner, Defoe, and Reynolds. Mark Reynolds, former Brewer, gets a start at first base, and Spencer Keyboom behind home plate.
And the umpires today, Pat Holberg behind the plate. Brian Knight at first, Chad Whitson out at second base, and the crew chief, Mark Carlson, moves over to third. He was calling balls and strikes in last night's ball game. A lot of rain, as I mentioned, on Friday and Saturday nights late in the ball game, and yesterday it forced a 2-hour rain delay and completely turned the complexion of the ball game around, as the Brewers clearly had the game in their favor before that rain delay, and the Nationals came out swinging and scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning to overcome a 2-run deficit and end up winning this game on Saturday night that finished this morning, actually, 5-4. So we're ready for game 2 here today. It's a different kind of day-night doubleheader, the morning afternoon one.
Yeah, beautiful day today.
First pitch to Curtis Granderson misses from Rodriguez, so ball 1. Granderson made his Brewer debut in yesterday's game late as a pinch hitter and drew a walk. .247 on the season as he came over from the Toronto Blue Jays. His on-base percentage, though, nearly 100 points higher at .342. That's what you're getting out of the 37-year-old veteran. He's got a great eye, and it's 3-0 to start things out against the rookie.
Yeah, and again, you're not sure how many starts he's going to get. He's given Lorenzo Cain a day off, but a good guy to have coming off your bench late in the game. He's got some power. He's got a good on-base percentage. Veteran guy that's been through it before. Can't have enough guys like that.
And a leadoff walk for Curtis Granderson on 4 pitches, and the Brewers have their first base runner of the game. Good start for Milwaukee against Rodriguez, 25 years old. First start against Milwaukee, and now he faces Christian Yelich.
Yeah, power arm. He's got a good fastball, curveball to go with it. He's probably going to throw a few changeups today, particularly against the lefties.
He'll face 5 lefties in a row right out of the gates, and Granderson, Yelich, Shaw, Thames, and Moustakas Is Craig Counsell throwing all the veteran left-handed hitters at the rookie.
Every single left-handed batter that he has, Craig Counsell, is in the starting lineup.
Granderson leads at first. And another ball delivered by Rodriguez, so that's 6 straight pitches, all balls.
Yeah, left-handers hitting .317. In limited action, only 6 starts against Rodriguez, Jeffrey Rodriguez.
Yelich with 3 hits in the series so far. He has an RBI. Putting together a sensational season. Opens up today at .317, which is second in the National League in batting average.
And 1 for 4 in last night's game. Drove in a run.
How about the road trip as well for Yelich? 11 for 23 with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. Of course, he had a 6-hit game in Cincinnati.
They've been consistent all year. He's playing solid defense and very rarely, if ever, gets a day off.
One of those days where the tough loss yesterday for Milwaukee, to get the day game coming right back, but it was a late night here just to get buttoned up and back to the hotel, and you feel like you basically get a nap in and get on the bus in the morning and come back over.
Yeah, everything was fine until I get back to the hotel trying to go to sleep, and the folks next to me were having a big argument.
Uh-oh.
That was up until about 2:30.
Did you have to act as the judge?
I just left it alone.
Didn't get into that mess, huh?
No, not going to get into that fray.
Ah, the life on the road, Rock.
Yeah. That's why you travel with earplugs.
It's a good thought right there. Turn on a noisemaker.
Yeah.
Got to get you one of those for your iPad. They work. Yelich with the 3-2 count. Granderson on the move, and this one fouled back.
That crowd's still filing in here at the ballpark.
This area going through a warm spell and also a lot of rain. Kind of similar to what's going on back in our fine state of Wisconsin, but not as bad as the flooding goes. But their rain is also the flash flooding type, which they experienced last night. And another walk, so 2 walks to open up the ball game against Jeffrey Rodriguez. That brings up Travis Shaw, and yesterday, or I should say on Friday, in the first inning, Travis Shaw, Powerball home run total for him, number 27. As the Brewers' second baseman, batting 3rd in today's game. As you see the home run leaderboard, Aguilar leading the Brewers with 31. Shaw next at 27, and then Yelich with 26.
And Brewers have hit 5 home runs in the series.
Shaw at 245 on the season with 27 home runs and 76 RBIs. Takes a first pitch strike from Rodriguez. Shaw's only hit so far in the series that big home run on Friday night. Stage set early for him here today to give the Brewers an early lead. First 2 reach base. Nobody out here in the first. And a breaking ball misses outside.
Yeah, Brewers did a pretty good job being patient against Strasburg last night. Laying off some pretty good off-speed pitches off the plate. Doing the same here already in the first inning.
It took that second turn through the batting order to finally get to Strasburg yesterday and really made him work. He had a 2-inning span where he threw 57 pitches.
Good pitcher's duel last night. Chase Anderson going 5 innings. That fastball has a little bit of a movement to it, a little tail, and right off of Keyboom's mask. That'll wake you up on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, it looks like he broke his eye shields there, and he's just getting rid of them. Maybe he said, I don't need him. I didn't see that foul tip coming in between my eyes. Ball and 2 strikes to Shaw. And he strikes out. So that's the first out for Milwaukee here in the opening frame.
And 98 up in the zone. This kid does have a good arm, no doubt about that. It's going to be whether he's going to be able to get the breaking stuff over. He's got that power curveball, and Travis a little bit behind that fastball upstairs.
Rodriguez is 25. He signed out of the Dominican Republic with the Nationals back in 2011. And has pitched at the AA, AAA, and now the Major League level this season. So he's been up and down and all around. And probably he's going to get some opportunities here for the rest of the season. There's a shot on the first pitch. Thames into left field. And station to station, bases loaded. As Eric Thames comes through with the big single. He had a rough month of August, just 4 for 42.
Hopefully the start of some good things for Eric Thames. That fastball that's tailing away from him goes right with it. Granderson had the freeze on the line drive. Not sure if Rendon was going to be able to catch it, and because of that, not able to score.
Granderson, Yelich, and Thames on the base paths. And here's Mike Moustakas. Moustakas doubled in last night's ball game. Doubled and scored a run in that Brewer 5th inning on Saturday night. Another breaking ball, and Moustakas chases down 2 strikes.
Yeah, starting to get a better feel for that pitch as the inning is going on. Doubled up on the curveball to Moustakas. That one down in the dirt.
And it looks like Rodriguez is suddenly getting sharper after walking the first 2 batters. Bases loaded here, though, only 1 down. Broken bat foul ball, and it shatters across the infield grass.
Well, just ate him up inside. And Moustakas fortunate to get a piece of it. Coming inside, way off the plate, and just blows up the bat. But he gets to see another one. That's what you call getting jammed.
Amazing that these guys can make contact with the ball that far inside. It's all about keeping your hands in.
That's about a foot off the hands.
Yeah.
This guy's got good movement on his fastball.
All right, new bat for Moustakas. See if it's his 2-strike bat. This one left field, base hit. Brewers are going to get on the board first, and 2 runs are going to come home. Moustakas comes through with the 2 RBI single, and Milwaukee's out in front 2-0.
And there you go, get another swing. He got eaten up inside on the fastball. Rodriguez goes back to the curve, and this time Moustakas is able to serve it out there into left field. Left that one up just enough for Moustakas to just serve it out there, and 2 runs in. Boy, good at bat from Moustakas. I mean, he saw 3 curveballs, the 1 fastball that ate him up inside. And Christian Yelich able to score from second base easily. Boy, the Brewers needed that in the worst way. Get a lead here in the first inning.
Well, the first 5 batters all left-handers, and they come through with 2 walks, 2 singles, and 2 runs so far.
The 2 walks that started the inning come around to score.
And Milwaukee in the first strikes again, second in the National League in runs scored, now at 94. Look at all those teams up there, all playoff contenders. So getting out to an early lead, very important for the success of clubs, and getting down here in the final month of September where we are.
Your Junior Guerra, a little cushion to work with in the first inning.
His battery mate Manny Pena now bats for the first time. He was in full gear getting ready to go out to warm up Junior Guerra when he stopped by where Sophia set up for her pregame hit, and stopped by and chatted on the air with us, which was a great stop on his part.
Good job by Sophia to take advantage of it. She said, if you're going to sit here, you know I have to interview you. Well done.
I think Sophia should bring a second chair from now on when she gets ready to do those hits. I think Manny could be a fixture out there. Manny and Eric Kratz. Right about the time where the pregame show starts, they're getting ready to go out to the bullpen to warm up their starting pitcher. There's one to second base as they get the lead runner out there, Mike Moustakas, and there's 2 down. So Thames moves to third, and Pena safe on the fielder's choice.
High fives all around from Moustakas, who driving a couple of runs on an 0-2 pitch. That's where those veterans really help you out. I mean, guys that have been in the tough spots in the past, and they've been in the postseason, pennant races, able to keep their cool.
Brewers added 3 veteran players in their 30s in Cedeno, Gonzalez, and Granderson. We talked about them in our open a bit, and how the last week has gone for Milwaukee. All the strange scenarios, the extra innings, the games that finish in the morning hours of the night after, and then the trades that they made. There's Gio Gonzalez, who came over from the Nationals. You don't see trades like that very often, where players just basically walk over to the other clubhouse. And Broxton deep in the hole, and they'll take care of the lead runner over there at second base and retire Pena. The Brewers come up with a couple of big runs. Mike Moustakas on 2 strikes, going the other way, and the Brewers off to a 2-0 lead. First, it's 2-0 Brewers here in the rubber match of this 3-game series. The Potawatomi batting order for the Nationals. Adam Eaton will lead things off. Trey Turner, then Bryce Harper, Anthony Rendon, Juan Soto, Mark Reynolds over at first today, Wilmer Defoe at second, Spencer Keyboom, the catcher, and Jeffrey Rodriguez, the pitcher. That's the batting order that Junior Guerra will face tonight.
Yeah, rough outing his last time out at Cincinnati. Only an inning in the third and 6 runs. It's been a rough stretch for Junior. His last victory came back on July 8th against the Braves. That was at home. 0-4 stretch in his last 8 starts, making start number 3 career against the Nationals. Picked up a no decision this year at Miller Park against Washington.
All right, so Adam Eaton steps in. And the first pitch from Junior Guerra misses outside, ball 1. Did you hear me say tonight? How many times during a day game do we all say tonight?
You know, because you're used to night games.
I guess.
Creatures of habit, you know.
Yes, indeed. I'm buying it, Rock.
I'm here for you.
It was hard to say this morning when we were still on the air earlier today this morning.
Yeah.
After midnight. We were the last game to finish in the majors on the schedule for Saturday. That includes all the West Coast games. Very rare for an Eastern time to be the last one.
Yeah. Well, 2-hour rain delays will do that. I hope that doesn't happen today.
See, you did it.
Yeah. Hope it doesn't happen today.
Eaton pulls one foul. Eaton is the one Brewer fans can blame for last night. 2 down, 8th inning. Brewers have a 3-1 lead, and Eaton got that 2-out rally going with a double. Joakim Soria had a tough time getting through that inning, to say the least.
Yeah, just lost his control. A couple of hits, couple of walks. 4 runs on his line last night.
Slow grounder to Shaw, and there's 1 down.
Well, let's check out the Brewers defense today.
No,
Greg Counsell has a different kind of look to his defense. You got Yelich, Broxton, and Granderson in the outfield. Moustakas Arce on the left. Shaw and Thames on the right, and Manny Pena has the right to catch here today. Long day at the office yesterday and back at it here this afternoon.
Here's Trey Turner to face Junior Guerra with 1 down. Manny got hit in the mouth with that hit by pitch on Tuesday night and was finally back in the lineup yesterday. You know, he's anxious to stay in there and keep going.
Well, the bat plays. I mean, he was swinging the bat well in yesterday's game. A couple of hits, a home run, RBI.
Well, you think about what Pena and Kratz have been doing behind the plate. 421 over the last 20 games for Pena. And Eric Kratz also up near 300 as well over his stretch of games. Over the last 29 games, a 293 clip.
Yeah. You guys are starting to swing the bats well, right at the right time. Got a month left. 25 games remain, including today.
25 games, and the Brewers are 5 out in the division, but they have the 2nd spot right now on the wild card and a 1.5 game lead over the National League West as Guerra is able to strike out Turner as Pena seals it at first. A crowded National League West. Dodgers and Diamondbacks have played a couple of dramatic games as they go head-to-head over a long weekend. Arizona and the Dodgers tied out in the West to open up play today, and Colorado just a half game behind. And it's big for the West because as the wild card looks right now, only the winner of that division, if the season ended today, would get in the playoffs.
Yeah, but you know, there's five teams for 2 wild card spots right now, as it looks right now in the National League race.
And this one off the base, bad break for Junior Guerra. And into right field, a base hit for Bryce Harper as he jumps on that first pitch.
Yeah, Thames was right there, but hit the bag, went over his head. Travis Shaw backing it up. Had he not been over there, I would imagine Bryce Harper would have been able to get into second base. Goes straight up, hitting the bag, and Bryce Harper for the base hit.
Took Harper a long time to get out of the batter's box. I think he thought that was going foul.
It's his first hit of the series.
Brewer pitching have done a collectively outstanding job against that slugger in this series, especially late in the game. These games have all been tight. Here's Anthony Rendon, the third baseman. So Harper aboard with 2 down.
Every game on this road trip seems like it's going right down to the end. Guys have been battling. They've been playing hard. Coming out on top most of the time on this trip. Junior got pretty good velocity. He's already thrown one at 95 miles an hour today. That last one at 94. Get that extra velocity to go along with that splitter. That's recipe for a good day.
Brewers staked him to a 2-0 lead before he came out on the mound. Nice block by Pena there to keep Harper at first. Always a little more relaxing for a pitcher to go out there with some kind of a lead. Job obviously to hold it and hope your team adds on to it. It's probably been the one tough part of this series here is for Milwaukee to keep adding on, and Guerra strikes out Rendon to end the first inning. So a couple of strikeouts here in the first for Junior Guerra.
Final game of a road trip, and the Brewers host the Cubs. That starts tomorrow through Wednesday. Check out the complete schedule. That includes a Labor Day matinee tomorrow afternoon at 1:10. Book your seats by going to brewers.com/tickets. Big series at Miller Park coming up this week.
Capital letters BIG.
Yeah.
See, we waited for nearly 6 months to actually say big series with true meaning of big.
Aren't they all big against Chicago, though?
They're all big against Chicago.
These 3 games even bigger.
Here's Orlando Arcia to lead off the Brewer half of inning number 2. It's 2-0 Milwaukee. Picked up those 2 runs in the first inning. Against the rookie Jeffrey Rodriguez, a little tapper to second base, and Arcia is retired.
Rodriguez down in Double-A Harrisburg this year, 5-3 in 13 starts. Made his major league debut on June 3rd. They like his arm for sure. Originally, it was going to be Max Scherzer getting a start today. And the Nationals changed their mind on that, and we've got Jeffrey Rodriguez instead. I would imagine the Brewer hitters are happy about that.
I would imagine so. Max Scherzer spins the ball about as good as anybody and is in position again to challenge for the Cy Young. 16-6 for Scherzer on the season with a 2.22 ERA. And even better, Rock, the Cardinals are coming in tomorrow, so if you're a Brewer fan rooting for a Cardinal loss and Max Scherzer's on the hill, you like your chances.
Yeah, 222 earned run average for Scherzer, and his third in the league.
And Junior Guerra to left field, and this one off the wall for Junior Guerra. Hit that one a ton. And what carry the Brewer pitcher had, and he stands at second base with a one-out double.
Well, that ball was smoked. Junior Guerra putting his back behind that swing. Yeah, check it out. You know, fastball down and in. He golfs it and he barrels it up, nearly hits it out of here. And Soto not able to get there, off the top of the wall. In there for a one-out double. How about Junior?
Boy, another foot or two, and that is out of the ballpark.
Had his Wheaties this morning.
Junior with his third hit of the 2018 season. Well done. Now let's see if Curtis Granderson can bring him home. Top of the order. Granderson making his first start as a member of the Brewers. He's out in right field today. He walked and scored the Brewers' first run in the first inning. And a strike on the inside edge. Rodriguez ahead of the veteran. 2 strikes.
Good take, close pitch. Granderson chokes up a little bit with 2 strikes. See a lot more guys doing that these days, choking up. Just trying to put the bat on the baseball with 2 strikes.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. This one fouled away. Well, Granderson, 37 years old, came over from Toronto, and this guy is full of postseason experience. He's been to 7 different postseasons in his long, illustrious career, and 14 postseason series alone. 3-time All-Star, great attitude, great work ethic, and great eye at the plate.
And another guy in that clubhouse that's been through it before. He's going to add valuable insights to these guys. A pretty good resume for Curtis Granderson. He's had 330 career homers.
6 different teams now, including Milwaukee in his career. And every team has enjoyed having him around. Up the middle and caught. And out at second base for the double play as Turner is able to turn it for Washington. Tough break for Milwaukee there. Junior Guerra had the one-out double. Good contact here for Granderson, but Brewers come up empty here in the second.
To you by Hupy and Abraham, voted best, rated best. Hupy and Abraham, tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite, great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. We're back at Nationals Park, the series finale between the Brewers and the Nationals, with the Crew jumping out to an early 2-0 lead. And yesterday, the Brewers continued to expand their roster by adding 8 players, 3 acquired at the trade waiver deadline, and then 5 call-ups. And today, they've activated 2 more, 2 familiar faces. They've recalled Corey Knebel from AAA Colorado Springs, and starter Zach Davies has been called up from the Timber Rattlers. He will start tomorrow afternoon at home against the Cubs. But for Corey Knebel, he did make 1 minor league appearance Friday night. That was with the Sky Sox. It was a scoreless inning for him. He had a walk, a strikeout, and 1 hit allowed. And Craig Counsell said it was really about giving Corey the break, the time off, allow him some time to work on some things. He said you're not going to see a major mechanical adjustment from Corey. It was really about just giving him some time off. He does have 41 appearances on this season and had struggled a little bit coming off of the disabled list with that hamstring injury. So Knebel is back, and again, Davies will start tomorrow against the Cubs.
Good stuff, Sophia. Even more impressive that you have the shaded umbrella that you're working with.
Yeah, you need one down there.
Well done.
Hot day. You know, and for Corey Knebel, and he talked to Craig Counsell about this, and he has said this publicly, it's not so much mechanics that they're all that concerned about when they sent him down, but, you know, just maybe a mental break. He's been grinding a lot since coming off the disabled list. The results have not been there, and I think just to clear his mind a little bit, I think it's going to help him down the stretch.
Well, the Brewers could certainly use the Corey Knebel of old, that's for sure, and you get the feeling he's not far off from that. You know, part of that, Rock, is accepting coaching and accepting, you know, the opportunity to make yourself a better pitcher and redefine perhaps in a way, and you know, Corey's more than willing to do that. Soto made the first out, and here's the second out by Mark Reynolds on the pop foul to Moustakas. So 2 quick outs for Junior Guerra.
And again, last point on Corey Knebel. I know you hate to be a broken record, but it all does come down to the curveball. The curveball has not been the same as it was last year. I'm just talking about the break on it. It's got more of a right to left break on it than it did last year. Last year was pretty much straight down. And a lot of times he's yanking it, not able to throw it for strikes. And Craig Counsell made an interesting point, you know, the other day when I was talking to him about that. He said sometimes I think when you're struggling with your breaking stuff, you overthrow the fastball to compensate. And because of that, Corey was not able to throw the fastball for strikes as much as he did a year ago.
It's a domino effect at times, there's no question. See Knebel in the dugout with Jacob Barnes. This one hit a ton center field. Broxton looking up, and it's over the wall. Home run for Wilmer Defoe, his 6th of the season. And we are seeing some carry out to left field here in the last inning. So the Nationals on the board. They're within 2-1 of Milwaukee.
It was interesting because Keon Broxton never saw it. I mean, he knew where it was heading, but really didn't have a beat on it. And once he got out there to the wall, he just lost it. And just did drop over the fence and into that Brewers bullpen out there in left center. You can see Broxton kind of shading his eyes, or covering his head. It just drops on into the garden out there into the Brewers pen.
Well, if you know Keon Broxton, he'd like to scale the wall out there. Not sure if he would have had a great opportunity to catch that one, but if you see it, you have the opportunity to at least make the effort.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, he gets out there. He's so quick to get to the baseball. Just not sure where it was. Had he seen it, he might have had an opportunity to get up on that wall and make a go of it.
So a 2-out home run for the Nationals. Going back to the 8th inning last night, all of the runs the Nationals have scored have been with 2 outs. Here's Spencer Keyboom, the catcher. Shallow center field. Shaw taking a look, and he makes the catch up into that sun for the final out here in the 2nd inning. Nationals get on the board, 2-1 Milwaukee.
Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
The Washington Monument here in Washington, D.C. Beautiful day. It's 2-1 Brewers as we head to the third inning. And global superstar rock band The Killers will perform at the grand opening of Pfizer Forum, Milwaukee's new state-of-the-art arena, on Tuesday, along with special guests and Milwaukee natives Violent Femmes. Tickets on sale now. For details, visit foxsportswisconsin.com/events. We've got some Brewer fans sticking around for the weekend. Had a lot here last night through the rain delay trying to root on the Brew Crew. Temperature is supposed to reach about 90 degrees here.
Yeah, most of the fans that were left last night when play resumed were Brewer fans. Or at least it seemed like it.
Got the Cheesehead cowboy hat on. There it is. Christian Yelich batting for Milwaukee. We were talking about the guy that was here last night with the cheese hat, and we weren't sure if he knew it was raining. He had the protective visor because of the point of the cheese.
Yeah.
And then a lot of rain soakage.
A very valuable piece of travel equipment.
I guess so.
Shield your eyes from the sun, keep the rain off you.
You got to wear that on the plane, though. You can't put that in a carry-on. You'd have to check that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
They're big. Yelich walked back in the first, scored Milwaukee's second run. They have a 2-1 lead right now. Wilmer Difo homered in the second inning for Washington. Rodriguez had a tough time finding his control in the first 5 batters in that first inning when he surrendered the 2 runs. Starting to settle in a little bit here. And Yelich lines one rake to second base. And Difo takes care of it for the first out.
Yep, falling behind in the count quite a bit, and when he does, he goes with the fastball, and Yelich able to square it up. Unfortunately, right at the second baseman, right in his tracks.
Brewers are hitting the ball pretty square here early in this game.
It's a couple of lineouts back to back.
Yep. There's Travis Shaw. He struck out back in the first. Shaw quickly down 2 strikes here in the third inning. Now Rodriguez the 0-2. He misses high.
Pretty close to the pitch that Shaw struck out on his last time up, that 98-mile-an-hour fastball. That one a little bit too far up.
And the 1-2 on the way. Breaking ball misses outside, 2-2. So the Brewers were the last team to finish up. The Brewers and Nationals the last game for Saturday's schedule, and the first to get out of the gates here today. Keeping an eye on Chicago and Philadelphia. That game is underway in the third inning, no score. And Cincinnati playing at St. Louis. That's just getting underway as well in St. Louis. Then you have your games out west, Colorado and San Diego later today. And Arizona at Los Angeles. Only a half game separates those 3 teams in the west. And a called strike 3 at the top of the strike zone, the 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Boy, that one had some wicked movement on it that time, but you see how Keyboom catches it, makes it look good for Pat Hoberg, the home plate umpire, right at the top of the strike zone. And Rodriguez gets a call.
Here's Eric Thames, who singled on the first pitch he saw back in the first inning.
has had a difficult time finding the starting lineup.
Well, it was a tough month for him, as I mentioned, just 4 hits in the whole month of August, and it was at the same time that Ryan Braun started swinging a very good bat, and so that ate up most of the balance that they once had together.
And now you got Granderson in the mix.
Yep.
It's going to be even more difficult to get a start, at least in the outfield.
Gets the start at first base today, so Jesus Aguilar and Lorenzo Cain, 2 of the regulars,
and Ryan Braun
out of today's lineup, at least for now. Here's the 3-0 to Thames, and he draws a 4-pitch walk. So 2 good at-bats for Eric Thames.
Hey, manage your dream team and begin your run toward the playoffs with the all-new franchise mode in RBI Baseball 18. It's rated E for everyone. RBI Baseball puts you in control of all the action. Learn more at rbigame.com.
Two-out base runner for Mike Moustakas, who delivered the first 2 Brewer runs of the game back in the first inning. Solid single to left field.
On an 0-2 pitch, an 0-2 curveball. And it served it into left field. Really good at bat. It was a 4-pitch at bat. 3 of them were curveballs. Broke his bat on a fastball in off the plate. Got a new bat and drove in a couple of runs.
It's a way to break it in. That pitch hits the outside corner to even the count.
I think he threw a changeup. Yeah, one of the few he's thrown.
Moustakas now with 21 RBIs as a Milwaukee Brewer. Batting .270 entering today's play in a Brewer uniform. He was part of the late July trade deadline pickups for Milwaukee. Came over on the 27th from Kansas City.
Yeah, he, Jonathan Scope, coming over to the Brewers. Joakim Soria around the same time.
You think about some of these bats that are coming around now for the Brewers. Moustakas has been very steady, no question about that. But Scope's bat now coming around. A couple of big hits in yesterday's game. And you knew it would. Just had a really just an awful start as a member of the Brewers in that first couple of weeks.
Yeah, just pressing, I think.
Yeah.
You know, he's been playing a pretty solid shortstop as well.
You get his bat coming around. Orlando Arcia's coming around. Eric Thames now today on base twice, including a hit. He's over at first right now. Moustakas continues to battle at the plate. We saw Domingo Santana in that Brewer dugout. He spent the last couple of months at AAA and started coming around offensively. He's now back with the team. Keon Broxton gets the start today out in center field as well. So one by one, there's some ammunition.
Yep, 9 guys on the bench to start the game.
Here's the 3-2 to Moustakas. And he pops this one up just into foul territory behind the seats. Bright sunshiny day here in Washington. 3-2 pitch inside, and Moustakas draws the walk. So consecutive walks with 2 outs.
And 4 walks now issued by Rodriguez. 2 different innings, back-to-back walks. And when he loses that release point, The walks come in bunches, apparently. Coming in, 20 walks, 26 strikeouts, and 35 2/3 innings. That's a lot of walks in a short amount of innings.
Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach, out to talk with him. Rodriguez cruised in his last start against the Mets. The team won 15-0. He pitched 6 strong innings in that one. 2 hits, no runs allowed. He did issue 4 walks in that contest. It's like any other young major leaguer, still looking to gain control.
In the middle of a really good stretch, 3 consecutive games, he only allowed 4 earned runs. He's already allowed 2 today.
6'5". Big lanky pitcher. Now he faces Manny Pena.
You know, as you watch this guy pitch, it kind of reminds you a little bit of Freddie Peralta. I mean, he's a lot taller, he throws a lot harder, but I mean, it's all about command, you know, being able to throw strikes and being able to work off the curveball. Kind of reminds you a lot of the, you know, the struggles that Freddie goes through.
Yep, you see the ups and downs. We've seen it firsthand with Freddie Peralta. Outside to Pena, 2-0.
Of course, Freddie in the low 90s, this guy in the mid to upper 90s with the fastball. That's a big difference.
Fifth pitch of this inning for Rodriguez right here, and it misses. Nope, it's the top of the zone. His second inning that he's been out on the mound with at least 25 pitches thrown. He's counted 61 right now here in the third. Outside 3-1.
He can't be a real easy guy to catch either, with all the movement that he has on his fastball. You know, it darts, it sinks, he's got some run on it. Very inconsistent in the strike zone. That's a busy day behind home plate catching a guy like this.
Spencer Keyboom has those duties today. Peralta broken bat, and this bat sails all the way to Rendon out at third base. And the third base umpire out there, Mark Carlson, says, "You want it back?" Did it break?
He just threw it. It didn't break. He just kind of lost the grip on it. So what do? You put some pine tar on him and go get him.
Another 3-2 pitch for Rodriguez. We're in the third inning, 2 aboard for Milwaukee, 2 down. Two out walks drawn by Thames and Moustakas. They're the base runners. Here's the 3-2. And he misses high. And the base is now loaded via the walk with 2 down, 3 in a row.
5 walks now in 3 innings for Rodriguez. When he loses it quickly.
Well, if you're the Brewers right here, you've got to find a way to strike while the iron's hot. A 2-1 lead right now for Milwaukee. Here's Keon Broxton. He bounced into a fielder's choice that ended the first. Big hack there at that fastball.
I'd like to have another crack at that pitch. Down in the zone, right down the middle. Routed straight back.
.194 now as a Brewer this season for Keon Broxton. He was part of the September 1st call-ups yesterday. 17th start for the Brewers today, his 11th out in center field. Up and down from the minors 3 times this season. Here's the 0-1.
Had 2 home runs on the year, both of those coming in the same game. That was against the Reds.
'25-year-old rookie Jeffrey Rodriguez. A ball and a strike against Keon Broxton, bases loaded. And a bouncer to third. Rendon, quick throw, just in time to retire Broxton. And the Brewers come up empty after loading the bases with 3 walks.
Dodger Stadium, a very dramatic win for the Dodgers. This coming on the swing of the bat of Matt Kemp, a 3-run shot in the 8th, 427 feet off of Archie Bradley. That would give the Dodgers a 3-2 win. You think about the Dodgers, just a week ago they were 4.5 games back. They've now won 7 of their last 8 games, and they pull in to tie Arizona for the lead in the National League West. So that'll be a fun one to watch. Clayton Kershaw, 7 innings pitched last night, called it the biggest win of the season for the Dodgers.
I can imagine for sure as they pull into a tie. And this game that we were involved with last night was not the only 8th inning dramatics. There were a few of them out there in Major League Baseball. The one out in Los Angeles, another big one.
They're all big this time of year when you're in playoff contention, no doubt.
Chris Bryant returned to the Cubs and had a lot to do with sparking their offense as well in their victory over Philadelphia.
There are big wins and there are big losses this time of year.
Last night might categorize as a big loss for Milwaukee.
Heartbreaker last night. I mean,
it's hard to give up a 3-1 lead in the 8th inning.
Well, the guys have been resilient all season long. It doesn't seem to bother them one day to the next. They have been playing very hard this year, and particularly playing very hard on this road trip. Actually started in that Pittsburgh series. They've been playing hard all year, but I mean, it really has been evident, you know, the way they've been able to win games on this trip.
There's cold strike 3 on Rodriguez.
That 15-inning game they won against the Pirates. They've won 3 extra inning games in a week span around. Every game seems to be going right down to the end.
Well, you see how the evolution of baseball works throughout a season. That's why they set the schedule up to play just about every day for 6 months. You see a week ago the Brewers coming back in improbable fashion to beat Pittsburgh in that 15th inning when they're down 2-1, and then almost the same feeling on the other side last night after really controlling the entire game until Mother Nature took over. And then after that 2-hour rain delay, they just didn't have the same mojo.
Yeah, basketball guys have a way of evening things out, don't they? I mean, you know, when the Brewers win a game they probably should have lost against the Pirates at home, and lost the game they probably should have won last night. So they're even.
There's a few of those instances throughout the year. Junior Guerra's looked pretty sharp here in the early goings, facing the top of the order now, second time through the batting order as Adam Eaton bats.
Yeah, Junior doing a little bit differently today. It's been a lot of cut fastballs, sliders if you will, as opposed to split fingered fastballs.
There's the 1-2.
Really has been interesting to watch Junior. I mean, he's coming out and you really don't know what kind of pitcher he's going to be any given day. And he goes out there, sometimes the fastball curveball, other times the splitter's a real good pitch. Yeah, today it seems to be more sliders.
And Thames can't come up with it. Tough hop. And it goes into right field for a base hit. So Adam Eaton aboard with 1 out for the Nationals here in the third.
Well, you had a decision to make, either charge it, maybe take the short hop, or lay back on it. He decides to lay back and not able to handle that second hop. And he used to say, don't play, you play the ball, don't let the ball play you. He went back on it and not able to handle it.
Here's Trey Turner. He struck out against Junior Guerra his first time up. Tries to lay a bunt down and push it down the first base line, but this one goes foul. Junior Guerra, over his last 8 starts, has had a tough go of it. His ERA has soared all the way to 7.28 during that stretch. An 0-4 record.
Well, you know, there have been some good starts in there, but there have been some blow-up starts as well, like last time out.
Greg Counsell saying yesterday that they believe that Junior's thrown the ball better than what the record would indicate, because it was brought up how the Brewers are going to use Gio Gonzalez now that they acquired him in a trade Friday. He's been a long-time starting pitcher, and right now the role for him, at least right out of the gates, is going to be he's going to be available in the Cubs series out of the bullpen. So putting some confidence in Junior Guerra. Zach Davies is going to make a start on Monday in that first series against Chicago. It'll only be Davies' 9th start of the season.
Man, you got to figure at some point Gio Gonzalez is going to be getting some starts. Initially out of the bullpen.
Guerra delivers the 0-2. And this one slapped into center field, and Broxton comes in to make the catch. Let's go down to Sophia. She has more on Junior Guerra today.
Yeah, well, it certainly has been a tough month for Junior Guerra. He was winless in August. The earned run average for him was over 7. But as you said, Craig Counsell was still confident in him, and that's why he remained in the rotation for today's start. He said overall he feels that Junior has pitched better than the results have shown. And he said especially the last start, he said it was obviously a tough start for him. He went just 4 outs. But the one before that, you remember his last start at home against the Reds, it was 5 1/3 for him. He did give up 7 runs, but just 2 of those were earned. And it was that kind of crazy inning where the ball hit off the umpire, and there was just a lot of bad luck in there for Junior. So he said he feels that the outings have been much better than what the results have been for Guerra, and that's why they wanted to keep him in there, hoping that he could deliver another quality start.
Well, in all honesty, I mean, he deserves it. I mean, he's been pretty consistent all year. He's on into a bad stretch right now, and
this one gets away from Pena, so Eaton advances to second base.
But again, I mean, an important start, as we talked about when we came on the air today. An important start for Junior. He's got to come up with a good outing because Gio Gonzalez is out there waiting in the wings. And you figure by picking up Gio Gonzalez, you're not picking him up solely to work out of the bullpen. He's not a reliever.
So Harper awaits the 1-0 pitch from Junior Guerra. Tying run at second base in scoring position now.
And the other thing is, I mean, Zach Davies, it's an important start for him. He's got to show well against the Cubs tomorrow. If not, maybe he doesn't get another opportunity in the starting rotation. Then you throw Gio Gonzalez into that spot.
What's interesting, Gonzalez has only made 6 appearances out of the bullpen in his career, and not since 2008. So he has 302 career starts. Here's the 2-0 to Harper. Breaking ball misses outside, 3-0.
And yeah, he'll be swinging here. So be careful. Not, you got first base open, but a tough customer on deck. Anthony Rendon.
Harper with 30 home runs on the season. Here's the 3-0. And he walks him. So Junior Guerra, the road and home splits for him look like this. Much better at home for Junior Guerra, 2.64 ERA, a 6.75 at Miller Park in the 2018 season. And today kind of turning those numbers around, at least so far. Some odd splits sometimes. You saw Chase Anderson yesterday pitching way better on the road in 2018.
And you wish you could put your finger on why. It's one of those starts. It's just like, you can't figure out why guys struggle in the first inning so bad. Just the way it goes.
Two aboard for the Nationals here in the third. Anthony Rendon, the batter. Nationals third baseman. He struck out to end the first inning.
And Junior got him on a high fastball. Rendon stands right on top of home plate. He's got that back foot basically on that line. A little bit of an open stance, but he wants the ball in.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. The breaking ball by Guerra. 1-1. Wilmer Defoe hit a home run back in the second inning. That's how the Nationals scored their only run so far of the game. This is their biggest threat outside of that early on against Guerra. Now 2-1. Nationals have the Brewers for this weekend series. The Cardinals come to town next, and then the Cubs for 4. So a 10-game homestand, all against the National League Central Division playoff contenders.
So after today, yeah, we're big Nationals fans.
It's the time of year you start rooting for some other teams, right?
Right, yeah, well.
It's always good to have some help. Can't count on it, but you can root for it.
Cardinals Cubs coming in here. We're going to be waving the Nationals pom-poms all week.
2-2 to Rendon. Just misses with the fastball. So we've got a Nationals hat, we've got pom-poms, we've got a jersey. We can take all that out of the booth and pack it in your bag. You'll be wearing that to Miller Park tomorrow?
I think we'll leave it here, but
all right.
In spirit.
Just making sure. Big pitch for Guerra here with 2 down. And he misses inside, and the bases are loaded. So consecutive walks to Harper and Rendon load the bases. That'll bring up the teenage sensation Juan Soto. And Derek Johnson coming out, the Brewer pitching coach, to chat with Guerra.
Well, same situation last night in the 8th inning. Dan Jennings on the mound, and Soto grounds one into center field to give the Nationals a lead. Young man can hit a little bit, and he's up in a big spot here early in the game.
Juan Soto, you see his season month by month. In August, it started tailing down, but this guy continues to be dangerous. He's only 19, won't turn 20 until later in October. Leads all major league rookies in on-base percentage and on-base plus slugging. First in walks with 63. This guy finds any way to get on base. 16 home runs, 63 RBIs.
Yeah, very disciplined for a young guy.
With 301 batting average overall here in 2018. And Guerra's first pitch is ball one. Bases loaded for the Nationals. Fly ball, foul territory, and this will make the seats, but it evens up the count. Soto has yet to go more than 2 games this whole season without collecting a hit.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible for a 19-year-old. That's pretty incredible for any age, but particularly for a young guy.
Crowd getting into it here at Nationals Park. Here's the 1-1. And just misses bottom of the zone for ball 2. 25 pitches now in this frame for Junior Guerra. Second time through the Nationals order for the Brewer pitcher. Misses again, 3-1. Time run down there at third base, and Adam Eaton nowhere to put Soto. Right counsel.
Well, you figure fastball's coming, and you figure Soto's looking for one.
Just on the phone to the bullpen to try to stir some action out there was Craig Counsell. Here's the 3-1. This one center field base hit. 1 run is home. So the game is now tied at 2-2 as Juan Soto comes through again with an RBI single.
Yep, a 3-1 pitch, outer half, not even sure it was a strike. Soto stays right on it, line drive into center field. That's something else, that kid. Well, he covers home plate very well. I don't think that was even a strike, and he's able to hammer one into center. Bryce Harper not able to score. Good throw by Keon Broxton.
That was Soto's 6th hit of the series. 3 came in yesterday's game. Here's Mark Reynolds, the former Brewer. First pitch, ball 1 from Guerra as Matt Elbers starts getting loose in the Brewer bullpen. Guerra misses inside, 2-0.
All the trouble last night in the 8th inning started with 2 outs. Pretty similar here today. There's a man on first at that point, but 2 outs, 2 walks. and a base hit. And lately that third out has been hard to come by.
The last 6 runs that the Nationals have scored against Brewer pitching, all with 2 outs, going back to that 8th inning last night. Two balls and a strike. Reynolds up the middle, base hit. 2 runs are going to come home for the Nationals, and they take the lead 4-2 here in the 3rd inning. A clutch 2-out base hit for Mark Reynolds.
Another fastball, another one right down the middle. This time Mark Reynolds able to bang it hard into center. Rendon, Harper able to score. 2-run lead for the Nationals, still 2 outs. Well, these 2-out rallies for the Nationals the last couple of days.
The last 4 batters have reached against Junior Guerra. 2 consecutive walks and then 2 consecutive RBI singles. Here's Defoe, who homered off Guerra in his first trip up back in the 2nd inning.
Well, Craig Counsell would like to be able to get Junior through this inning, but at what cost, right? I mean, you have Junior Guerra's spot in the order coming up second. Top of the 4th. You want to fall behind too far. That's why you have Matt Albers up. He's probably up in case another base runner reaches.
He's ahead 2 strikes. And a roller to second base. Shaw takes care of it. And the Nationals are finally retired here in the 3rd inning. But a lot of damage with 2 outs against Junior Guerra as the Nationals take the lead.
Lottery reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world.
Well, that is looking pretty good on a hot day here in Washington, D.C. About 90 degrees. And the Nationals now have just taken a lead over Milwaukee 4-2. Brewers coming to bat here in the top of the 4th inning.
Better eat it fast. Be a milkshake.
Yep. Go in the shade to eat ice cream.
Yeah.
Never eat it in the sun, Rob. We've had these discussions before.
I know.
Right.
I haven't learned.
All right, let's see what the Brewers can do here in the 4th. Orlando Arcia will lead things off. Domingo Santana is in the on-deck circle. That's Junior Guerra's spot. And Guerra just had a tough time ending that 3rd inning before the Nationals were able to take the lead. So now Jeffrey Rodriguez works with a lead for the first time today. A 3-run third for Washington. Brendan Woodruff gets loose in the Brewer bullpen now. We saw Matt Elbers up earlier.
Yeah, just in case Garrett couldn't finish that third inning, it would have been Albers. Now Craig Counsell wants his long man, one of his long relievers, give him a couple innings. 2 or 3 based on how the Brewers offense goes.
Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Arcia. Grounded out to second his first trip up. Way inside Arcia there. He gets out of the way.
Anytime you see a pitch that far in on Arcia, he's screaming even before the ball gets to him.
And he does go the furthest away from home plate to regroup. One hopper to short, Turner, and 1 down. So now Domingo Santana will bat as a pinch hitter. So Junior Guerra's day is done after 3 innings. Domingo Santana now back with the Brew Crew. 62 games earlier this year before he was sent down.
Yeah, he got off to a slow start down in the minor leagues, but his last 3, 4, 5 weeks were pretty good down in the minor leagues. Good to see Domingo back with the Brewers.
An unexpected turn of events as this calendar year for Domingo Santana.
Yeah, rough. It started in January for him.
Guy who was in the 30 home run club a year ago for Milwaukee, playing every day out in right field. His role changed and he's trying to regain that. Harper battling the sun out there for the second out.
A couple of rough starts for Junior Guerra on this road trip. I mean, inning in the 3rd against Cincinnati. Only able to go 3 innings today. Very disappointing for Junior.
See if the Brewers can rally here and get the lead back and finish this one out with a victory. Going to be up to the bullpen though to take over from the 4th inning on. Top of the order, and Curtis Granderson, the batter. He bats for the 3rd time already today. Drew a walk and scored a run back in the 1st. Well, you don't like to see these short starts, but you got to believe you're better equipped to handle them right now.
Yeah, but normally the short starts mean you're behind. I mean, you can cover them in September with all the guys you have in the bullpen, but you know, 3-inning start means you're probably down in the game, and which they are today.
And Guerra's last game, just an inning and a 1/3, 6 runs given up before he was removed. That came in Cincinnati against the Reds on Tuesday. Granderson up with 2 down. Inside, draws another walk. So that's the 2nd time Granderson has drawn a walk here in this game. And yesterday, when he made his Brewer debut, he also drew a walk. So he has been on base 3 times via the walk, only been retired once so far.
And knows his strike zone, that's for sure. 6th walk issued by Jeffrey Rodriguez, and we're in the 4th inning. 6 walks, only 3 hits.
His on-base percentage nearly 100 points higher than his batting average. Here's Yelich now with a runner on and 2 down. The second, they'll take the lead run and get Granderson for the final out here in the 4th inning. Nationals coming to bat. They have a 2-run lead.
Friday. All 5 county residents can save 50% on tickets for the Cruise Series opener against the Giants. To lock in your discounted tickets, head to Brewers.com today.
Brandon Woodruff on the mound now to take over here in the 4th inning. His 13th appearance for Milwaukee as he was part of the September 1st call-ups yesterday.
Yeah, 6th time he's been with the Brewers this year. He made 4 starts, 8 relief appearances. You can see a 2-0 record, 480 earned run average. Pretty decent numbers down in AAA this year. 17 games started, 3-2 record, 4.04 earned run average down in Colorado Springs.
So Junior Guerra, a short start here today, 3 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs allowed. 2 walks and 3 strikeouts and a home run for Guerra, 58 pitches. A forgettable road trip for Junior Guerra. This is his 2nd time through the Nationals order here today that was the tough part, facing 8 batters and giving up 3 runs in that 3rd inning.
And now he's going to have a stretch of 9 starts without a victory. Yeah, last win for Junior way back on July 8th.
Big test on the mound for Guerra today, and then another big one tomorrow for Zach Davies. We'll see how the Brewers decide to do some realigning, how to fit in Gio Gonzalez. Woodruff has made 4 starts for Milwaukee this year. You got to figure he might be in that mix for 2019 as a starter for the big league club as well.
He's starting to really mix in some of his off-speed stuff. He's got the good fastball slider. Seen some good change-ups this year. Certainly a guy that he's shown the ability to throw strikes. That's what you like about young pitchers. They come in there and throw strikes.
Spencer Keyboom, the batter, the Nationals catcher. And Woodruff with a strikeout to open up the 4th inning. Good start for Brandon Woodruff.
Again, we're talking about throwing strikes for Woodruff this year. 30 innings, 11 walks, 31 punch-outs, make that 32. There's a good fastball, 96 right on the outside corner.
Here's Rodriguez, the Nationals pitcher. So an afternoon game here today. Afternoon game on Labor Day at Miller Park to open up a homestand. Cubs coming to town. Then 2 night games Tuesday and Wednesday. Woodruff, a couple of strikeouts here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, not messing around with the opposing pitcher, just blowing him away with fastball. That's fastball that he's thrown 97 miles an hour. Actually, that last one is a slider. A good one down in the zone. He's taking a sip of water. Missed it.
Gotta hydrate. Here's Adam Eaton, top of the order.
It sounded like a fastball.
It's 90 degrees, Rock.
Hey, you gotta keep drinking water. I know. Sometimes in between pitches, unfortunately.
I think that was some sun protection there we just saw. Left field, Yelich, and a nice quick inning for Brandon Woodruff. His first inning in relief. See what the Brewer bats can start doing here in the 5th.
Trailing the Nats 4-2, and every year Brewers Community Foundation focuses its funding in the areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs. The Milwaukee Brewers Baseball Club's charitable arm proudly supports nearly 200 organizations annually. So certainly a credit to Cecilia Gore and Katina Shaw for all the great work that they do all year long with BCF.
Yeah, there's no question. They are the best of the business for sure, and we enjoy working with them. How's that umbrella working out down there, by the way, Sophia?
Well, you know, you have to be sun safe down here. There's no cloud cover today, so I know you guys are pretty much like even with the sun for how high up you are up in the booth up there, but certainly it's a hot one down here.
You have the mister or anything like that going?
Nope.
Misting some? No.
No mister today. Just drinking a lot of water.
You're not traveling with that, huh?
Got the shades going though, huh?
Well, you have to do that too.
This is why, folks, they call her Sophia. Center stage right there. Wait a minute. Not somebody blocking your way there.
Well, people have to work.
You're sharing space. All right, top of the 5th, Brewers trail by 2. And Travis Shaw leading off for Milwaukee here. A couple of strikeouts so far in this game for Shaw. Nationals have scored 4 unanswered runs. Brewers certainly not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. Only midway through this game down by a couple of runs. Center field, Harper. And there's out number 1.
And the Brewers have a number of come from behind victories this year, and in large part you have the Brewers bullpen to credit for that. Falling behind, bullpen coming in, keeping the opposition off the board. Got to do the same today. Good start by Brandon Woodruff at 3 up, 3 down, 4th.
34 come from behind wins for the Brew Crew here this season.
Got to keep it going. You figure Josh Hader available today. Corey Knebel back.
Thames a big swing and a miss on that first pitch. Our Blaze Pizza at the plate for Eric Thames. 1 for 1, a single and a walk. So a good day at the plate for Thames so far. And this one into right field, his second hit all the way down the line, and Thames is going to trot into second base with a 1-out double.
Man, nice job by Thames on 3 times today. Base hit the left, double down the line in right, a walk in between. Eric campaigning for more playing time. Not sure what that was. It looked like something off speed, maybe changeup. Got it down on the end of the bat, but able to whistle it down the right field line. Don't have to get it all back at once. Keep that bullpen going, throwing up zeros, and start pecking away.
Well, the middle part of this order has done a nice job getting on base. All 3 times for Thames. Here's Mike Moustakas, who has also singled and walked. Pops this one up shallow left as Soto comes in for the second out. Talked about those come from behind wins for Milwaukee. How rare was last night when they were up 3-1 leading after 7 innings. That was only their 4th loss all year. 62 wins when they're in that category.
Yeah, 2 outs, nobody on in the 8th. I know we keep talking about it, but it's just so unusual for this Brewers bullpen. Give up a lead late like that. And Joakim Soria just lost it. Couldn't find the strike zone.
Manny Pena bats now with 2 down, and he's got Eric Thames out at second base. Pena walked his last time up. Six walks allowed by Jeffrey Rodriguez in this game. Yet the Brewers just with 2 runs.
They come in bunches, right? I mean, walk a guy, walk another. In the 3rd inning, walk 3 straight batters.
Sophia's down there in that area where that foul ball went.
Missed the umbrella.
Miss Sophia.
How'd
nice
you
job.
See it? How'd you see it coming? I mean, you got so many umbrellas down there.
We're good.
You got the shades working there, though. That'll help, Brock, on a sunny day. Slow roller off of Rodriguez, and everybody's going to be safe. Slow after the deflection off Rodriguez.
Well, keep the inning going. Manny Pena continues to swing the bat pretty well. Got that pitch right on the end of the bat. And deflected off of Rodriguez, and the inning continues. Wouldn't hit all that hard, but Rodriguez not able to grab it. And no play for Turner.
50 miles an hour exit velocity. Here's Broxton. How about the Brewers doing something here with 2 down and returning the favor? That's how the Nationals were able to take the lead in the third.
And Keon Broxton has been up all 3 times today with a man in scoring position. Let's see if he can cash one in here.
0 for 2 so far. Thames at third, Pena over at first. Rodriguez pitch count up at 93 here in the 5th inning. And Broxton was able to check his swing there, so the count at 2-0.
Yeah, try and get one of those fastballs down in the zone. Very good low ball hitter is Keon. Vulnerable to the high fastball. Lay off that one.
Keon Broxton, center field, all the way back, gone, and the batter's eye home run. A 3-run poke for Keon Broxton, and the Brewers regain the lead.
Wow, that is a blast. About halfway up in center field off of that area out there, the batter's eye. A bomb. Well, he got a fastball. He got one down in the zone, just like we just got done talking about. And watch where it ends up. Like Keon Broxton knew it as soon as he hit it. Bryce Harper took a couple of steps and then stopped. And the Brewers take a lead. How about Keon Broxton with a big homer?
5-4 Milwaukee. Broxton's 3rd big league home run this season. And right away, Orlando Arcia wastes no time. First pitch, base hit in the left field.
Well, we talk about the fact that with Keon Broxton, he likes the ball down. There it is. It's down. He knocks it out of here, way back in center. 2 out, 3-run home run to give the Brewers a 1-run lead.
How about that for Keon Broxton? Tyler Saladino, another September call-up yesterday, hit a pinch hit home run in the Brewer 9th. So these guys that just got called up, they are swinging the bat.
Yes, they are. Saladino's was no cheap. He hit a bomb to left center last night.
So Brandon Woodruff, who came in relief to pitch last inning, will bat here with 2 down. Huge 3-run home run for Keon Broxton, and the Brewers back out in front 5-4.
So Eric Thames, who has not had a whole lot of playing time, gets it started. Pena with the infield hit, and Keon, fresh from the minor leagues, with a big homer. Everybody needs to contribute in September.
7 of the 9 runs combined in this game, all with 2 outs. And Woodruff takes inside, 4 straight balls to draw the walk.
I can't imagine that David Martinez is going to stick much longer with Rodriguez. 7 walks issued by the young right-hander, and that's going to be it for him.
The Brewers finally taking advantage of all the base runners. Brewers have 7 hits and have drawn 7 walks. And you'd say it's about time they got out in front and chased him out of the game, and they do. season. Our StatCast AI powered by AWS. The exit velocity 106. And you take a look at that hit distance at 442 feet into the batter's eye.
Yeah, halfway up that batter's eye. That was a bomb by Keon that time. Goodness. He hadn't hit him any better than that. And Tim Collins taking over. We saw him last night. And Collins' 27th appearance, a 265 earned run average, one of 3 left-handers down in that Nationals bullpen.
So as the lefty comes in to face Curtis Granderson, Craig Counsell puts in pinch hitter, the right-handed hitter, Hernan Perez. So Granderson, a productive day, couple of walks drawn, scored a run, and this one all the way past the catcher. And the wild pitch will move up both base runners into scoring position at second and third.
Boy, that's not even close. I mean, Key Boom, a big dude, not able to grab it. Look how high this pitch is. Off the end of the glove, both runners advance, and now a base hit, could score 2.
Surprised he got a glove on that one.
Barely.
Inside 2-0. 7 walks and 7 hits allowed by the rookie Jeffrey Rodriguez. Five runs so far. The 2 on the bases are his. Inside to Perez, 3-0. It's amazing how you can go through a game without anybody drawing a walk, and this one alone the Nationals have issued 7.
Yeah.
And it's 3-0 to Perez. And we're only in the 5th. Make it 8 walks. Brewers will take it. Bases are loaded.
And 8 walks so far, only 2 of them have scored. He had 2 walks to start the game in the first inning. That catches up to you after a while.
Yeah, for sure. I was just going to say the Brewers happy because Christian Yelich now comes up with the bases loaded. And he hits left-handers just fine. Part of his .316 batting average. Came into today 2nd in the National League. And another ball, 1-0. Against lefties, .336 for Yelich.
And 6 homers. So he's got some slugging percentage in that .336 batting average, 21 RBIs.
Misses low, 2-0.
Brewers doing a good job tonight, or today, of being patient at the plate. Making the Nationals throw strikes. Collins has not thrown a strike.
Yelich does not have a grand slam in his career yet in the majors. Bases loaded for him right now, and a 2-0 count. And this one rips center field. Harper goes back to the wall. It's gone! A grand slam for Christian Yelich, his first career, and the Brewers opening up this game here in the 5th inning.
My goodness, that guy, what more can this guy do? Christian Yelich. Now you bring in a lefty against this guy, I'm not sure you're doing yourself any favors. 7 home runs now against lefties. A grand slam here today, all this coming with 2 outs. And the Brewers have batted around here in the 5th. Christian Yelich drives one to the opposite field. Big fly, 2 home runs. A 7-run 5th inning for the Brewers. guy's got MVP written all over him. Incredible year.
Well, as we head into a work week Monday, Labor Day tomorrow, 25 games left into the season, whatever day you want to call it, you got to start including this guy in the mix for MVP in the league.
No kidding.
27 home runs now for Yelich, 81 RBIs.
An opposite field home run for Yelich. Just something else. I mean, it's. I mean, what more can you say about what this guy's done? We've used all the accolades. Every one of them deserved, and comes through again.
There's a strike called to Shaw.
The first strike that Collins throws since he came in ends up in the seats. A grand slam.
And another walk. An amazing day at the plate for patience for Milwaukee. Not biting against Washington pitching. So Shaw aboard. Ninth walk of the game issued by National pitching. Here's Eric Thames. What a day he's had at the plate. Singled back in the first, drew a walk in the third, doubled and scored a run earlier this inning.
13 pitches by Collins, only 2 of them strikes.
Nine to 4 now, Milwaukee out in front. 7 runs so far here in the 5th.
All of them coming with 2 outs. All 9 runs, 2 outs.
That's how the Nationals took the lead. So the Brewers returned the favor and then some. A 3-run home run in this inning and a grand slam. And a good eye from Thames. Up left field, Soto near the line has just enough room for the final out. But the Brewers strike big time here in the 5th inning with the long ball. Keon Broxton, a 3-run pop. Christian Yelich does one better on a grand slam.
Stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app and take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball wherever you go. Bottom of the 5th we go. The Brewers now a 9-4 lead as Yelich and Broxton the big home runs. Broxton a 3-run pop and Yelich his first career grand slam. And Brandon Woodruff back out on the mound all of a sudden without a deficit but a 5-run lead. What an inning. Here's Turner, slow roller, Arcia for the out.
Smooth as silk, Orlando Arcia, not an easy play. Coming in hard, got rid of the baseball, and a good sidearm flip over to Thames. Well, needless to say, an important inning for Brandon Woodruff. Keep the Nationals off the scoreboard. Keep the momentum in that Brewers dugout as Hernan Perez takes over in right.
A sun-splashed Sunday afternoon here. Temperatures around 90 degrees here in the DC area. And the ball carrying well for the Brewer home run hitters. That's the 4th 7-run inning of the season for Milwaukee. There's Bryce Harper.
And he also tied a season high in walks. 9 walks last time they did it. July 8th against the Braves. And we're only in the 5th inning.
4 more to play. Plenty of time for more walks and more home runs, right?
Yeah.
Oh-2 pitch to Harper, misses inside. This is the answer you want to see, though, after the tough loss from Saturday's game that ended earlier this morning. And then you get out in front early in this game, fall behind, and then have a huge inning like they just experienced to take a 9-4 lead.
Yeah, but does it surprise you? I mean, they've been doing it all year. After tough losses, they come right back, act like nothing happened, and then just kind of play their game. Never seem to really get their heads down, do they?
Not a bit. And Harper strikes out against Woodruff. That's his 3rd strikeout since he came in last inning.
At 97 miles an hour, right down the middle. Harper swings right through it. And you can't get any more center cut than that, and 97 gets by Harper.
Woodruff looking sharp so far.
Yeah, throwing strikes. I mean, that's the key. You know, your team gets you a lead. You want to pound the strike zone. Don't want to work behind an count. Yeah, good slider for a strike. And he's working quickly.
Here's Rendon with 2 down. Fly ball center field, Broxton. And he's got it. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Brandon Woodruff. We head to the 6th. 9-4 Milwaukee. against the Nationals, and as the Brewers continue their postseason push, it's time to prepare for the possibility of October baseball at Miller Park, and you can secure a postseason strip by placing a deposit on a 2019 season ticket package. Find the right plan today by visiting brewers.com/season tickets. Oh, the hunt for October as Austin Williams now comes in to pitch for the Nationals out of the bullpen.
Yeah, rough outing for Tim Collins. I mean, a guy that has had some success in the big leagues. Kansas City Royals, and just couldn't find the plate. Christian Yelich able to knock one out of the ballpark. And another guy that split time between Double-A and Triple-A. 3-3 with 2 saves and a 119 earned run average.
Stevenson comes in to play center field as Harper exits the game. So double switch for the Nationals. Mike Moustakas is set to lead off. Moustakas today officially 1 for 2. He did draw a walk in the third, but his big hit was that single in the first that gave Milwaukee the early lead in this one with the 2 RBI single. Nice season for Mike Moustakas, 255 with 25 home runs, 83 RBIs. He'll be a free agent again at the end of this season. And certainly proving his worth to find a home again somewhere, and who knows where that'll be. Great ball player, great teammate.
Yeah, gamer. I mean, hustles all the time. Wants to be in the lineup every day.
A wealth of postseason experience and a world championship with the Royals under his belt.
And 32 games for Williams. Austin Williams down in the minor leagues did not allow a home run down in the minors between Double-A and Triple-A. Got that good 2-seam fastball, got some sink to it. That's hard to do. I mean, that many games without issuing a long ball.
That's how you earn a trip to the big leagues. And he gets Moustakas. So a strikeout to open up the 6 for Williams. We'll bring up the catcher Manny Pena. Pena singled last inning just ahead of Broxton's 3-run home run. Part of that surge with 2 outs. An amazing inning for Milwaukee. That 5th. Brewers are going to have to protect this lead today and try to secure a victory. It would be their 4th consecutive series win if they can get that done. Cubs already out in front at Philadelphia. They're in the 6th inning there. It's 4-0 Chicago. Cincinnati and St. Louis tied 2-2. That one in the bottom of the 4th in St. Louis. Cardinals come here for a 3-game series to Washington starting tomorrow. The Cubs will come here
Thursday after the 3-game series in Milwaukee and play the Nationals for 4.
Be a pretty good pitching matchup tomorrow. Max Scherzer, Miles Michaelis.
Yes, indeed. There's the National League Central standings. Brewers sitting in 3rd place right now. The Cardinals just a half game ahead, but 5 in back of the first place Cubs. So we'll see if those standings change at all here in the next 3 days. They'll play Chicago again in a week in Chicago in a 3-game series there.
Yeah, rest of the way, the Brewers play only teams in the National League Central except for the Giants. They come in the next homestand, and then the last 3 games of the year against the Tigers. Unusual, isn't it?
Yep, interleague play to end it out.
Yeah.
But at least it's at home at Miller Park.
10th walk issued to the Brewers today, a season high.
Here's Keon Broxton, who had the 3-run home run in the 5th inning. Those are the ones you enjoy watching, so let's show you again. Look where this one lands. 442 feet away.
Yep, about halfway up the batter's eye out there on a 2-0 fastball down in the zone.
I'm pretty sure that would have left just about every ballpark back in the old days, too. How deep were center fields back in the day?
Well, Yankee Stadium was like 460, maybe not there. Polo Grounds, no, and then you're going way back.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Shall I continue?
Yes, Mr. Historian.
There are some big ballparks.
Hit them where they ain't.
Yeah. Remember in old Yankee Stadium, the flagpole and the monuments were in play.
I meant the old days in the 60s, Rob.
Right.
Just in the circular long distance stadiums. Now it is amazing when you look at the dimensions from back in the 30s and 40s and the ballparks that were turn of the century. They didn't end, did they?
No, well, there were some big ones back then.
.483 at the Polo Grounds to center field.
Yeah.
And just .450 to left center. Dan Keener producing, Adam Bryant directing, by the way, if you're wondering where all this information is coming from.
You didn't know that off the top of your head?
Help.
I'm sorry. I thought you.
I was off by a foot or two.
I thought that was your stuff.
Clearly. We just have a different definition of old days, Rob.
Yeah, we do.
And Broxton strikes out. 2 outs here in the 6th.
Old days of these players is 1990. You see the fastball a little bit up, and that's a vulnerable spot for Keon Broxton. You get that pitch down about 5-6 inches, much different result.
We were chuckling yesterday when we got here to the ballpark, and they were getting ready for a big night of celebrating the 2000s. Doesn't really take you back very far, does it?
I mean, what do you wear when you're celebrating 2000? I think my wardrobe, is 2000. And I got clothes that are 18 years old. I mean, people could tell that, right?
I was going to say late 90s, but
I mean, they're still good.
1993, 94.
Yeah, well, maybe not.
How about this guy? He's only 19 years old. Juan Soto. He won't be 20 until after the baseball season in late October. So last night was for him, apparently.
Yeah.
The birth date.
Arcia waits the 2-1. Popped up. Defoe calling for it. And there's your final out here in the 6th inning. 9-4. Milwaukee still out in front. Cuts through the hype. Catch Speak for Yourself with Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock weekdays at 4 Central only on FS1. Hot day here in D.C. The Brewers out in front 9-4. A couple of big booming home runs. And in between innings, you see home plate umpire Pat Hoberg. It is hot for everybody here. Umpires dressed in black. He is getting soaked down.
They don't get to sit in the dugout with the fans blowing in between innings. They wear it on days like this, those home plate umpires.
Temperature around 90 degrees.
There you go. That's what you need, the mister.
Nice mister for the fans in the outfield areas here around the ballpark. All right, so Woodruff goes to work for his 3rd inning out of the bullpen. He works against Juan Soto. And he slaps one into right field. Another base hit for this kid.
And that slider that time from Woodruff had him out in front, but able to keep it in the hitting zone a long time to be able to roll it out there. And that was actually changeup, my mistake. Changeup stayed back long enough. He was out in front, but he found a hole. We saw Travis Shaw playing up the middle.
Is a tough out at age 19. 6 hits in this series. Here's Mark Reynolds. Former Brewer hurt his old team back in the 3rd with a 2 RBI single. Brewers were able to overcome that with those 2 home runs in the 5th inning. Reynolds earlier this year had a 5-hit, 10 RBI game back on July 7th against the Marlins. Day before that had a 2nd career walk-off home run.
About as much power as anybody in the game when he gets a hold of one. He always has been a big home run hitter. Vulnerable to the strikeout. Keep the breaking ball down on him. Brandon Woodruff here, you know, elevate the fastball maybe up out of the zone, bounce the slider. He will chase with 2 strikes.
Count remains a ball and 2 strikes against Mark Reynolds. Junior Guerra lasted only 3 innings, gave up 4 earned runs before Woodruff came in and took over starting in the 4th. So his 3rd inning out of the Brewer bullpen. Time Reynolds goes down. There's your first out here in the 6th.
Yep, there's your high fastball after a number of breaking pitches. Hey, today's time of the game winner, BB's Bar in Green Bay, if they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. BB's Bar gets 40 tickets to an April or May Brewers home game next year. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Green Bay's going to start getting busy on Sundays.
Got the opener against the Bears Sunday Night Football next Sunday. A week from today. Be able to
trying to
catch
figure
any of that
where
action.
we're going to be. We're going to be in Chicago.
On your way to Chicago.
On your way to Chicago, yeah.
Too bad those school buses you drive in don't have a TV in them. There's Defoe.
I might drive down on Monday morning.
Oh.
Extra night at home.
Rock's having a Packer party on Sunday night, everybody.
I think we're done with parties for the year.
Did you have a good get together recently?
You were there. Had a little rain. We had to dodge some raindrops, but
Rock had the whole production crew over and all their friends and family, extended family. It's a good time.
yeah.
You and Kate are kind people. We started outside and ended up inside.
Must have been great. You didn't even remember it.
It was stellar, my friend, stellar. We have a great crew. We know that. We like to talk about them, especially when we're on the road. We're taken care of well at home, that's for sure. Pop up out to Shaw. There's your 2nd out.
And a good fastball from Brandon Wood. He's got good stuff today. I think Craig Collins is going to let him go as long as he can. He does lead off the next inning, but I don't think that matters a whole lot with the way this guy's throwing. Starter down in the minor leagues. He's got plenty in the tank.
This is a good showing for a guy that wants to make impressions when it comes to where he's going to fit in for 2019.
Yeah, working ahead in the count. He's only allowed 1 base runner so far. 4 strikeouts. Yeah, just let him go. Keep him in there. See how far he can give you.
As a reliever with the Brewers here in 2018 and 8 previous appearances, his ERA just over 3. Brewers already committing that Corbin Burns will be a starter in 2019. These guys have a lot of pitches left out of the bullpen, though, to get this team through this playoff run here through the month of September. So far, so good here in this game for Woodruff. Kieboom awaits the 2-1 pitch. Count even now. Here's the 2-2. This one slammed to right, and Perez there for the final out here in the 6th inning. So we head to the 7th now. Brandon Woodruff cruising on the mound. Today, you know, he was thinking, I think I'll get a couple of at-bats. He's going to make his second appearance at the plate in this game because he's doing so well on the mound. Came in relief in the 4th inning and has cruised through 3 very efficient innings so far against national hitters as we open up the 7th inning.
I think he's getting an at-bat because he's going to go out there again. I mean, he made 17 starts in the minor leagues. I mean, you can't imagine that Counsell would take him out right now as well as he's throwing. You got a 5-run lead. You got the Cubs coming into Miller Park. You'd like to be able to save as many guys in your bullpen as you can. And he is dealing right now.
Woodruff, a good athlete, feels comfortable in that batter's box, puts one into center field on the first pitch, and there's out number 1. So he'll head back to the dugout, cool off, get in the shade, and likely get set for pitching in the 7th inning, which would be his 4th out of the bullpen.
He really hasn't thrown all that many pitches. He's been pounding his strike zone. He's been working ahead in the count. He's only allowed 1 base run. He's worked out of the stretch once. I checked that twice, 2 batters.
Woodruff only 37 pitches in the 3 innings so far.
Can I check that? 3 batters?
You can check whatever you want.
A leadoff base runner. That was Soto, got a base hit. And then retired the next 3 guys.
Austin Williams works in his 2nd inning in relief for the Nationals. 1 down and top of the order, and Hernan Perez. He'll bat for the first time today. Came in on back in the 5th inning after the Granderson at bat. And Perez, right center, and caught out there by Eaton. Well, here's Mr. Grand Slam, Mr. MVP candidate Christian Yelich. Last time up in the 5th, a boomer. With the bases loaded, his first career grand slam.
1 for 3, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored. The grand slam, and just another day at the office for Christian.
Look at those season numbers: 317, 27, and 81 for Yelich. Those 2 runs he scored today are now 96 on the season. He came in 2nd in the National League in that category, 4th in hits. Now with 155. I mean, these things just start adding up fast when you look at it and say, how can he qualify for this?
Yeah, well, he is. I mean, there's no way. He and Lorenzo Cain are certainly getting some national attention in that MVP discussion. And whether they win it or not, I mean, it's. I think everybody realizes in baseball how important both of those guys are to this club. And Christian Yelich just continues to get better as the season's going on.
An all-star for the first time right here in this ballpark in mid-July. Hit a home run in that game.
OPS at 943. I mean, the numbers off the charts.
And he's in competition for a batting title right now in the National League. The Brewers, in their franchise history, have never had a batting champion before. Robin Yount came close in 1982. He finished second, just a point behind Willie Wilson. Wilson at 332 and Yount at 331. And Cooper, Cecil Cooper, back in 1980, finished second to George Brett. Cooper that year batted 352, but George Brett batted 390. But back in '82, the final game of the regular season, Yount with 2 home runs, a triple. And then in his last at bat was hit by a pitch, and Willie Wilson didn't play in that game, trying to preserve his 332 batting average, and did by percentage points. Imagine going for a batting title and hitting a couple of home runs and tripling.
Yeah. No, I can't imagine, but
you can imagine Yount going at it.
Yeah, doing it. Nothing surprised me with Robin Yount when I played with him. He and Molitor.
Yelich draws the walk.
11 walks now issued to the Brewer hitters.
It's the second one that Yelich has drawn today. Well, Yount and Cooper deserved a batting title, but so does Christian Yelich. There's Travis Shaw, swings at the first pitch. Right field, Eaton. Right on the line. And that's the final out here in the 7th inning. 9-4. Milwaukee still out front. trying to wrap up the weekend here at our nation's capital with a series win, and Brandon Woodruff mowing down national after national. Our Badger Mutual Insurance plays of the game belong to the Brewer hurler out of the bullpen as he came in relief in the 4th inning and has done a terrific job, only allowing 1 hit and 4 strikeouts so far.
Just pounding the strike zone, fastball, changeup, slider. That base hit, a leadoff base hit to Juan Soto in the 6th inning, then retired the next 3. But exactly what the Brewers needed after getting a bunch of runs in the 5th inning. Brandon Woodruff able to come in and kind of quiet things down a little bit. That was actually, the 5th inning. Good work for Brandon Woodruff, who continues here looking to eat up 4 innings for the Brewers today.
Well, that pitch count, as you mentioned, at 37 right now. He's just hopefully continues this mode that he's in right here. It would be a huge lift.
That's why you bring a guy up when the rosters expand. You know, a starting pitcher like Woodruff that can give you extended work in the event of a short start.
He faces Andrew Stevenson, who came in on the double switch, batting in the number 9 spot. First time he's been at the plate in this game. He took over for Bryce Harper out in center field after the Brewers built their 9-4 advantage. Well, you look at what the young stars have done since being called up yesterday. Tyler Saladino, a home run. Brandon Woodruff today into his 4th inning of shutout baseball in relief. Keon Broxton, a 3-run home run earlier today.
It just goes to show you down in the minor leagues, they have players that are worthy of being in the major leagues. A deep organization from top to bottom. Everybody contributing.
And this one slapped into center field. It's going to be a base hit. So a leadoff single here in the 7th inning for Stevenson.
A little flare right off the end of the bat from Stevenson. And a good changeup going away from, stayed on it long enough and just kind of flared it into center. Leadoff base runner again for Washington, back-to-back innings.
Top of the order now in Adam Eaton. Singled and scored back in the 3rd inning. 1 for 3 in this game. And out in that Brewer bullpen right now, Corey Knebel, who is just called back up today.
I bet he can't wait to get into a game.
They're anxious to see how he has progressed here. Just a short window of time for Corey Knebel to kind of take a break, is how the
mental break.
And the Brewers probably put it best that way if you talk to Craig Counsell and David Stearns.
Clear his mind a little bit, grinding since coming off the DL, trying to figure it out, take the pressure off him, sit him down a little bit. He did make an appearance down in the minor leagues.
Inside to Eaton to even it up at 2-2. Well, you figure how much better off this Brewer bullpen was when they had Knebel in that closer's role too. Everything just it was more everybody had a spot. I mean, they were interchangeable, so to say, but they were more reliable at the back end of the bullpen for sure. And when he started struggling,
well, that's when most bullpens do struggle, when the closer either is hurt or is ineffective. Well, the Brewers covered Knebel pretty well when he was on the disabled list early in the year. But it's been a bit more of a challenge lately for the whole pen.
Called strike 3. And Woodruff with his 5th strikeout in relief.
Evan Eaton knew it. Fastball right on the inside corner. Well, he just walked away, made it easy for Pat Hoberg, the home plate umpire. Well, a little comeback two-seamer, able to catch the edge.
One out here in the 7th for Trey Turner. It's one thing, too, Rock, to be able to cover for a guy like Corey Knebel when he's out, when he was injured on the DL, versus when he's still with the team and struggling.
Well, and again, they were able to cover him in the beginning of the year because the innings were not mounting up on the Brewers bullpen.
Right.
Yeah, guys get a little bit more tired. Fatigue starts to set in. You get kind of concerned about the usage of the bullpen. Craig Counsell's been talking about that for a while now, and that's when you really need, you know, Corey Knebel to get back at it. I mean, a relatively fresh arm, right? That's what they need right now.
And this one poked in the right for a base hit, so 2 aboard here in the 7th inning for the Nationals.
0-2 base hit. 3rd hit allowed for Woodruff. He's got the beard back. And made a mistake, got too much of the plate on an 0-2 pitch, and you can see Turner with a big hole between 1st and 2nd.
That'd bring up the pinch hitter Ryan Zimmerman. Go bat in the number 3 spot where the pitcher was. One out here in the 7th inning for the Nationals, 2 aboard. There's a strike. First pitch from Brandon Woodruff. Very much in control so far in this game. First threat to score by the Nationals since he's been on the mound right here. Big hack from Zimmerman there to fall behind. 0-2.
Yeah, good spot to throw Zimmerman up and in. He likes to get those arms extended. Really good opposite field power. Well, he had Turner 0-2, made a mistake. See what he does on this pitch.
Fly ball right field. Perez fights the sun and makes the catch for out number 2. So Zimmerman retired. Josh Hader is up joining Corey Knebel.
Yeah, Hader hasn't pitched since Thursday. Picked up a save in that game. Say if Rendon gets on here, you might see Hader come in to face Soto. I don't think Craig Counsell wants to mess around too much.
Well, you can't control these games and you can't predict what's going to happen, and no lead is safe, that's for sure. I mean, look how strange this series alone has been since Friday. Brewers in position to win, low scoring game. It's tight. All of a sudden the rain comes pouring in that final 9th inning. I'm still amazed that game was finished the way it was, with Jeremy Jeffress out on the mound, bases loaded, needed a couple of big outs. That's as hard a rain as you're going to see baseball played in.
Yeah. And same thing yesterday, right?
And then yesterday in the 8th, yeah.
8th inning. Took them a while to cover the field, and it was soaked.
Calling 2 strikes now to Rendon.
Yep, high fastball. Rendon swings through it. Outer half.
Woodruff bringing it here this afternoon. Effective fastball. Here's the 1-2. Grounded over to Shaw. And there's your final out here in the 7th inning as Woodruff 4 shutout innings here this afternoon. 9-4 Milwaukee. How about that? Great stuff, Dario. Looking forward to the Brewers Live postgame show coming up after the ball game as well. And Brandon Woodruff, what a job he has done out of the bullpen. 4 shutout innings to lift this Brewer team. They were down 4-2 and he came in. They provided him some offense and he did the job on the mound.
Yeah, that's exactly what the Brewers needed. A nice long relief appearance to kind of solidify things. Well, the Brewers need to just cover the last 2 innings.
Sammy Solis on the mound. Tyler Saladino at the plate. He's the pinch hitter. So new pitcher, new hitter to start out the Brewer half of inning number 8. Saladino had the pinch hit home run in his plate appearance yesterday. And that was in the top of the 9th inning after the rain delay, after the Brewers fell behind 5-3, got him within 5-4. He was part of the September 1 call-up on Friday. I should say Saturday.
Man, it was a blast to left center. Way over the Brewers bullpen. Put together some nice games for the Brewers. Filling in at shortstop while Orlando Arce was down in the minor leagues and came up with some big hits.
He missed 30 games with that ankle sprain, and this is a look at that home run last night.
Look where this one lands. Way back. And a nice quick jog around the bases.
He's got to get in and celebrate.
Slow that one down just a bit. Enjoy it.
Three balls and 2 strikes to Tyler Saladino. And this one into left field, a base hit. So leadoff single here in the 8th for Milwaukee. Let's check out our Toyota game reset. Go back to that 5th inning when Milwaukee scored 7 runs. Here's the first 3. Keon Broxton, his 3rd home run. Out to the batter's eye. And then they'll load him up for Christian Yelich, his first career grand slam. And Milwaukee 7 runs on 5 hits in that 5th inning to overcome a 4-2 deficit. And that's how the score has remained until now. There's Yelich in that Brewer dugout. Here's Moustakas batting for the 5th time today.
And Moustakas got the scoring started for the Brewers in the 1st inning. 2-out single.
Sammy Solis, we talked about him the last time the Nationals came to Miller Park. Rock had a chance to spend some time with him and get to know him. His dad, Bob Solis, started Open Arms, which is the charitable orphanage that Davy Nelson's, obviously, the late great Davy Nelson, has been heavily involved with. Was on the board of directors there up until his death. And the children's orphanage in South Africa, the kids born with the AIDS pandemic there. Sammy, great guy, and is trying to build on his father's legacy and Davy's legacy, as well as he's made it to the majors. Gives Davy a lot of credit over the years, helping him out along the way, giving him some great advice. So always good to share that story when you can.
Well, any friend of Davy's, or a father, a friend of Davy's, friend of ours, right? A great man, Davy Nelson, always giving him his time. Made everybody feel like they're important.
Mark Attanasio, the Brewers owner, was incredibly kind, along with his wife Debbie, to double the proceeds that were made in the Davy Nelson charitable golf tournament back in June up at Whistling Straits, and that's huge to the orphanage, to say the least. Good family, the Solises. Sammy has experienced a lot of what the Brewer relievers have this year, and been that up and down trip from AAA and back. A lot of usage out of the big league bullpen, and also because he has those options, you're seeing more and more of that.
Yeah. And players with options always seem to be going back and forth more now than ever. Every team's doing it. Especially when you're a pitcher out of the bullpen, needing fresh arms. Not uncommon to see relief pitchers going back and forth 3-4 times, maybe more.
Yep. He's got a battle with Moustakas here. The full count pitch. Nice play made over there by Defoe to retire Moustakas. And the runner Saladino advances to second.
And Saladino taking off on the 3-2 pitch. You can see they're not holding him on. I'm not sure, you know, a 5-run lead, not holding the guy on. Not sure about that. I think you can steal. With a 5-run lead, Mark Reynolds playing behind the runner. I believe that the Nationals were figuring that with a 5-run lead in the 8th inning, you better not steal. I don't get that. I don't buy that.
You can't do that anymore.
That's not a big enough lead, 5 runs. I get a 10-run lead. You're not going to run, but
I don't think that's part of the unwritten rules anymore.
not anymore. They used to be. I see nothing wrong with stealing a base up by 5 runs. How many times have we seen in baseball, not just with the Brewers, but in baseball, 5-run leads evaporating?
Well, the Brewers scored their 7 runs in the 5th inning with 2 swings of the bat. You get a 3-run homer and a grand slam. You never know if a pitcher's going to start struggling, if the defense is going to let you down. Pena retired on the roller to third. And here is Keon Broxton. It's going to be a 5 at-bat day for Keon Broxton.
Well, you certainly don't lose anything with Keon in center field, that's for sure. I mean, he runs them down as well as anybody, but you certainly miss the offense normally with Lorenzo Cain on the bench. But Keon coming up big today. Good for him.
Big 3-run home run back in the 5th inning. And Craig Counsell said yesterday there are certain guys on this team that may get a start occasionally, like Keon Broxton, but a lot of guys are going to have roles to fill, and Keon knows he's going to be a pinch runner late in the game, defensive replacement late in the game. Gets the start today and makes the most of it. I'm not sure with 24 games left after today there's going to be a ton of off days remaining for some of these veteran guys.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of off days anyway. Every Thursday is an off day in September.
Yep.
Yeah, I think off days for guys are going to be few and far between going down the stretch.
We've seen Domingo Santana pinch hit today. Saladino pinch hit for the 2nd time in this series. He's over at second base now. I mean, in his case too, you hit a home run yesterday in a pinch hit role. Today you single.
Right.
Now you got a guy you can start relying on.
Yep, swinging it well. You betcha.
Brewers also have Jacob Nottingham up as a 3rd catcher right now. It's a crowded dugout. Wait till they get to Chicago, right?
I mean, the dugout's a lot bigger than it used to be, but
Well,
how
that's
about
true.
the clubhouse?
The clubhouse, I guess, is what I'm talking
They're
about.
going to be doubling up everybody in that clubhouse.
That is clearly the very last thing.
It's about the size of our broadcast booth.
Yeah, that's the very last thing at Wrigley to get remodeled, redone, reshaped, whatever you want to call it.
And it's amazing that you know, the league lets the Cubs get away with that. That small clubhouse like that. You've been on the other side?
Oh yeah.
Oh my.
Spectacular. And Broxton strikes out to end the 8th inning here for the Brewers. They keep that 5-run cushion.
right, Dario, thanks very much. Xavier Cedeno will make his second appearance for the Brewers in consecutive nights since he came over from the White Sox in the trade on Friday. So 35 appearances in all on the season for the lefty specialist, and a big batter coming to the plate for him.
That was 3 up, 3 down, 6th inning for Cedeno last night. That included a strikeout. He struck out Bryce Harper, to end the 6th. There's his numbers right there between the White Sox and the Brewers. 34 appearances, 273 the earned run average. Bottom half of the order coming up.
And the first pitch, ball 1. Tyler Saladino stays in to play second base, and Sean takes over at first for Milwaukee. See a lot of the defensive replacements and substitutions here probably for the rest of September. So Juan Soto, a couple of hits in this game. Isn't it funny, Rock? You go through spring training, a full 5 weeks of actual game action, maybe 6 weeks, and you go through all those switches, and you're just really preparing more for September, aren't you?
And no kidding.
It goes away for about 5 months and comes back in that final month.
Well, compare the team that was on opening day in Milwaukee or in San Diego to what the team looks like now.
It's incredible. It really is.
There's nothing like it. So much different.
Big swing by Soto.
Cedeno with that good cutter. He throws a lot of cut fastballs, a curveball to go with it. But predominantly attacks both right-handers and left-handers with the cut fastball.
Soto stays alive. A mighty swing. You wonder what kind of home run groove he's going to get in season by season, numbers wise.
Yeah, Powell will be much better as he becomes more comfortable with the league, and he's still a terrific hitter for his age. I mean, terrific hitter just in general.
Sharply hit. Saladino backhand. Nice play for the first out.
Power usually comes later with most guys.
He's got 16 already this year.
Yeah, I mean, but he's a guy that you would think, I mean, he could be a 30 home run guy. You would think he would be.
Here's Mark Reynolds. How about the job that Brandon Woodruff did? 4 strong innings, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts. That's going to be his line.
Yep, in line for the win. Yeah, incredible stuff. I mean, was able to keep the Nationals off the board after the Brewers put up 7 runs in the 5th inning. Man, that cutter's got some good movement on it. Nice and easy. Doesn't look like he's expending a whole lot of energy, but has good movement, good cut to that fastball.
Center field, and this one falls in for a base hit. So Reynolds on board, his second hit today. A 1-out single as we take a look at our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Tomorrow it's Cole Hamels against Zach Davies, who'll be back in action for Milwaukee on the mound, and Mike Montgomery Tuesday night against Wade Miley. Jose Quintana Wednesday night against Jhoulys Chacin. Pretty good pitching matchups there between these two clubs.
Yeah, look at Cole Hamels. I mean, how good he's been since coming over to the Cubs. All 3 starters for the Cubs lefties.
I think it's easy to look at what Cole Hamels has done with the Cubs since the trade, and what a lot of people are hoping to see a similar result from Gio Gonzalez. Now that the Brewers have acquired him. Both those veteran pitchers had struggled with their teams in 2018, and now both have been traded. Of course, Hamels in the July trade deadline has done an absolute unbelievable 180 turnaround.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I don't know if anybody could duplicate that, but
for Gonzalez, he just didn't have it this year, and you think there's a lot left in that tank there to turn some things around for him.
Yeah, jump back in a pennant race. It made a difference for Cole Hamels.
I mean, Gonzalez's ERA last year was 2.96. This year, 4.57. Gonzalez, a 21-game winner back in 2012.
There's that curveball we were talking about. Cutter, 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 curveball. Able to get him on strikes. Yeah, taking a little bit off it, just kind of lollipops it in there at 78 miles an hour and gets him out in front.
Here's Keyboom now batting for the 4th time.
It's just one after another, isn't it? Cedeno throwing strikes with it, keeping it down.
It's been impressive to watch. I mean, we don't get to see a lot of him since he spent time in the American League and has traveled around the league, been in and out. But 32 years old, has a pretty good storyline, and what a start to his Brewer career. And could not have been happier to meet you yesterday, especially after you identified yourself.
Yeah.
Good group of guys that have come aboard via the trades on Friday, that's for sure. Pop up on the infield. Shaw at first makes the play for the final out. We head to the 9th, 9-4 Milwaukee. Was a milestone 5th inning for Milwaukee. 2 home runs equaled 7 runs. Orlando Arcia gets set to lead off the Brewer 9th inning. The Brewers have now homered in 12 consecutive games, matching the team's longest streak of the season. They homered in 12 straight back on June 24th through July 6th. 24 home runs on this current streak. As Coda Glover now comes in the 9th inning to work against Milwaukee.
Yep, we saw him on Friday in the Brewers' victory here in Washington. A 3-up, 3-down inning. Got a pretty good arm. Coda Glover, 11th appearance, a .491 earned run average. This is a guy that was drafted in 2015, made his major league debut in the following year, so he got to the big leagues quickly.
Well, there's some holes to fill in the pitching staff for the Nationals. I see a big swing there to even it up. I think today one of the candidates in Jeffrey Rodriguez to maybe replace Gio Gonzalez now that he's been traded away. And Corey Knebel back up in that Brewer bullpen. That's the second time he's been up getting some work.
And it looks like he's going to get the 9th. Good time to bring him in. Got a 5-run lead.
And it'll be in a familiar setting of finishing the game. Good strong throw to retire Arcia. One down here in the 9th. Here's Jonathan Scope now batting.
Scope's been swinging it well lately.
Well, he had 2 hits yesterday. Had an error earlier that was changed to an RBI double for him, which we thought was the right call. But the 2-hit game yesterday for Scope. Getting that Brewer batting average back over 200. A very slow start in a Brewer uniform. We all know, and that's been documented. But now he's starting to swing a very solid bat here.
It seems like he's starting to relax a little bit.
Absolutely.
He's had some success. He's starting to swing it better, and it seems like he's much more comfortable in the batter's box. He's been playing a pretty good shortstop. I mean, not a guy that's played a whole lot of shortstop, but has made all the plays.
Well, you got a new team after spending your whole career with the Orioles. You have a new position to play. New league to play in. And these guys don't need excuses, but you certainly can understand what plays into it. But he was putting up Christian Yelich-like numbers before the trade to Milwaukee.
No, he's always hit, and as rough as it was for him early on, you figure he's going to play a big part in what goes on in September.
This one hit hard center field. Stevenson going back on the warning track to make the catch. So now 2 down. Now this has got to be brotherly love going on here, wouldn't you think?
A little professional wrestling going on.
Well, you got the glasses on. Those gotta get knocked off, don't they? Don't knock my glasses off. Then the real fun starts. More than 33,000 on hand here to watch the Brewers and the Nationals here at Nationals Park. Perez bats here with 2 down in the 9th inning. Brewers headed back home to face Chicago tomorrow in the first of a 3-game series. The Cubs are out in front 8-0 now in Philadelphia. They lost on a walk-off on Friday night and won yesterday, and in good shape obviously to take care of today's game. St. Louis trailing Cincinnati in the top of the 8th inning. Close one there though, 3-2 Reds.
Yeah, Cubs coming into Miller Park tomorrow red hot. They won 8 of the last 10. They're 20 games over 500 at Wrigley Field.
Time to cool them off.
Yeah. Can't stay hot all year, right?
Count even with Perez now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. San Diego leads Colorado as well. Rockies just right on the heels of the wild card contenders and only a half game out in the West. Perez to right field, dumps it in for a single.
There's a nice piece of hitting. And just poking that 2-strike pitch into right field. That's the way it's done with 2 strikes. That looked like a cutter of some kind. Out away from Hernan Perez, able to get on top of it, a one-hand swing and dumps it into right.
That'll bring up Yelich. 6 at-bats today for Christian Yelich. He has drawn 2 walks and his first career grand slam back in the 5th inning. Yelich came in hitting .317, and with his numbers today, .317 at this at bat.
Yep, 1 for 3 with a couple of walks. Yeah, another good day. You know, he did line out to second base in the 3rd inning, so he's been striking the baseball well. Even the outs that he's making are hard hit.
Coda Glover delivers. And it's inside 2-1.
They continue not to hold the runner on at first base. Going to ask Craig Counsell about that after the game. If a 5-run lead is a big enough lead to, call off the stolen bases. I don't think it is.
I would agree. Bouncer to first. And there's your final out here in the 9th inning. So Yelich is retired. But we got the fun just starting in the stands. Oh, it's a Sunday to have some fun with the bro. Brewers a 9-4 lead over the Nationals, and Corey Knebel to close things out. Not a save situation for him, but a familiar ninth inning nonetheless, as he is set for his 42nd appearance. And we'll see if he can get back on track, retain that curveball, and take care of the Nationals here in fashion.
No, for his purposes, he has to approach this as though it is a save situation. Corey sent down to the minor leagues. He made one appearance down there. That was on Friday through an inning against Oklahoma City. Gave up a hit, a walk, a strikeout. More of a mental break than anything else for the Brewers, given to Knebel.
He's had one outing in the minor leagues, and of course that was just the other day, August 31st. Got some work in there, but most of the work and what the Brewers want to see in the transformation of getting back to the old Corey Knebel is going to happen right here starting this afternoon and for the rest of the month of September.
And throwing strikes. The first two pretty good. It's all about the curveball. Get that curveball over strikes, makes that fastball much more effective. That pitch there.
Good start, getting ahead 0-2 now, 1-2 to Stevenson. And a cold strike three, Corey Knebel.
And that's a good sign. I mean, that curveball, more like it was a year ago, going straight down. He was having a problem kind of yanking it. And it was more going right to left like a big slider. That one straight down like the old Corey Knebel hook. That's good to see.
Here's Adam Eaton. And the fastball just misses at the bottom of the strike zone. Ball one. Well, when they optioned Corey Knebel down, they had a few extra days before he went to AAA to actually work on some things with Derek Johnson, the pitching coach, and Lee Tunnell, the bullpen coach. And so they took their time doing that as part of the process. And so now he's trying to implement the things that they worked on starting now. This one hit out to left, Yelich, and two quick outs for Knebel.
It was more or less a reset opportunity for Knebel. That's the best way to put what the Brewers tried to accomplish. Sit down, clear the head, get into the bullpen, and hopefully that curveball comes back to where it was last year.
Here's Trey Turner with 2 down in the ninth. Brewers out in front 9-4. Good looking first pitch strike on the fastball from Knebel. Brewers trying to win a 4th consecutive series. That would be the most since they won 6 straight back in mid-May to the end of May. May 11th to May 30th to be precise. They won on the road at Colorado, Arizona, and Minnesota, and then back at home against Atlanta, the Mets, and St. Louis. Knebel out in front now, ball and 2 strikes. See Zach Davies, Jacob Nottingham. Pitchers and catchers, they like what they're seeing right now from Knebel. 2-2 now to Trey Turner. Here's the pitch from Knebel. And this one fouled away on the right side. Gio Gonzalez, the newest Brewer, came over from the Nationals on Friday watches. And a strikeout to Turner, and Knebel with a strong, efficient, quick finish here in the 9th inning. 2 strikeouts for Knebel, and the Brewers take the series and win the game 9-4.
And nice job by the Brewers offense to get cranking. It's been looking better and better as the season's going on. And how about Brandon Woodruff? I mean, Brandon Woodruff is the guy today that made the difference. Other than the 2 home runs, Woodruff 4 scoreless innings in the middle of the game.
Tremendous job by Woodruff. He moves to 3-0 on the season, and the Brewers close this out with Corey Knebel. He's got to feel very, very good about what he just accomplished here this afternoon. 9-4 again is the final score. Brewers Live postgame is on the way.